yeah, so like when the moderators like I only found out because this chick messaged me like it's like, hey, so these moderators are like get photos from me and I feel uncomfortable. I was like, oh god, not
Okay, what
this.
notification?
I'm
If you look,
having serious issues with like getting this stream to stay stable. I don't know what's going on. Sorry, stream. I don't know. Maybe today's not the day.
Like I said, there's a massive DDoS attack because somebody's been doing viral advertisements for the new booter that's out there, and they took down
What
DeviantArt
method are they
yesterday.
using? Like
I
what was their vector for bots?
I honestly don't know that, and that's taken down now. It was taken down by YouTube, but
That's fine. I was just
I know
wondering what
that
they affected.
they've taken on like several like major art sites, and I'm pretty sure they've been hitting YouTube. But you're not gonna DDoS YouTube. It's just not gonna happen.
It's Google. It's not gonna happen.
Yeah, so
They did take down the streaming capabilities yesterday, though, I think, for like 5 minutes or something.
So what they do is they
Probably.
target specific servers. Is the only way
Yeah.
they can do it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And like I said, they've done it with last I checked, it was over 100 different websites, but I don't know specific sites. So aside from like for Affinity and DeviantArt.
If they want to be really cool, they'd take down one of the major redistributors of the internet. I think
Yeah,
there's like
one of the backbones.
yeah, like I think there's like 20 of them now. I don't know. I can't remember how many, but it was funny because it almost went down before.
Yeah. Yeah.
I
But
met
yeah,
Jack in person. If I'd known Nadia was in the same area, I would have hung out with her too. Would have been cool.
Does
if I don't
anyone
know,
does
ahead.
anyone mind grabbing? I'm not sure if you have a tab of this open and just letting me know if this is dropping on YouTube side because it is on my phone, but everything's green.
yes, it is.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, I got
Yep.
I got a notification. So
Yeah, it's live.
Oh, okay, thank you.
Maybe they're just DDoSing your phone.
Yeah, just my specific Wi-Fi. Steve McRae is coming after me and my Wi-Fi.
No, he's coming at you sideways.
Maybe stop coming at my Wi-Fi sideways, and I'll entertain your discussions.
Do you go to Speaker's Corner?
No, I've never been, and I don't really plan on going. It's just a bunch of stupid people arguing about stupid shit.
yeah, I mean, Jason Burns is usually there, so I'm not gonna argue with you.
Where's this?
Speaker's
Speaker's
Corner is it's a place. It's like a park in London where it's mostly Muslims now today, but it's where people have gone throughout history to talk about philosophy and religion and atheism and all that kind of shit. But really, it's just turned into Muslim apologetics corner.
They're trying to learn their apologetics.
Honing their craft.
Yep.
Because when you said Jason Burns, I thought, oh, where can I hear Jason Burns again?
I think he's actually been active, although I haven't seen Blue doing any videos.
What is he posting again?
He was. I don't know if he still is,
wow.
but he was, yeah.
That is awesome. Do you remember the live stream where his auntie come in because he shat in the toilet and made a mess?
I remember that. I remember when he broke his chair.
Yeah.
I also remember the tsunami of penises.
Oh, I love the tsunami penises. That was awesome.
Okay, somebody clip that. Anybody out there, clip that. Send it to me.
I love penises.
I wonder if anyone clipped the me and Brenda discussion, because I want to clip that if they didn't.
I don't think anybody's
Her
really
freaking out and
anything
yelling.
yet.
There's plenty of those. Plenty.
No, but like that one was actually pretty, especially after like, because it got super ramped up and then she calmed down and then it go right back to being Brenda yelling again and then she'd calm down a bit and people would walk it back.
I remember when she quit Debate Coliseum because her and Jack went at it. That was great.
Oh yeah.
Is that Jack Enstrike?
Yep.
She attacked me
Yeah.
for misgendering her for calling her dude.
She was attacking your family. Yeah.
Yeah. She does that.
It was adorable though, because it just screams, "I'm insecure about being a tranny. Don't say any words around me."
Well, no, because she won't do that with people that she knows do it on purpose.
Right, yeah, because she's just trying to flip
Like-
it onto me and like add some guilt.
Yeah.
I should feel bad because I'm a tranner and you're a tranner, and I said something mean to another tranner, even though it was literally normal, basic human language.
I think it was apparent to everybody. You were
You
like, yeah, that's what I meant.
oh. But no, I was happy to see Gus in here yesterday because Gus is like all about like he loves it when there's blood on the mat. Like he will go back and forth with somebody for just because it's hilarious.
You can have Gus.
Who was
You
that
can have
video?
Gus. I'll send Shamos over here too.
No,
He's-
Oh, don't
He's
no.
grown.
Nobody
Shamos-
was-
Justin
He's-
hasn't been around recently either. He was around for a
he-
little bit though.
Does he still live on a fucking boat?
Shamos, yes, he's still
Oh.
on his boat. More than ever.
That makes sense.
more than ever.
There's been
He's
like
a survivalist.
rehab. Yep, yes, he is. He's leaning
He
towards
can live off.
primitivism. He tries to be like portray this like man amongst men.
He
Is
should
he
just
like
you
Bear,
know,
Bear Grylls?
he
Does
he
he
should
like
make
drink his own weed?
he should make his way down like the coast and around Florida and just stop at Tampa and pick up Dio and they can live happily ever after.
Yeah. Dio might have a girlfriend right now. He's been having this
Oh.
massive fucking ego because of it too.
Oh my
But
god.
Shamos, he moved in with a chick for a little while, and she was straight poisoning him with what was that? With I forget what kind of it was some kind of like medication, anyways, to make him calmer. And this crazy lady was doing it to her kids too. It's some chick he had known in when he was in high school, and she like came into some money, not a lot of money, but she promised to like take care of him, and then like never bought him anything. It's just
That's
hilarious.
funny.
When he was in high school, was that last year?
He has some of the worst quotes. Like I don't even want to say them on YouTube right now because
No, don't.
she's streaming.
Yeah. Like Samos isn't like Shamus, yeah. You know what
Yeah.
I'm talking about, him.
Yeah,
He's not fucking TOS friendly.
It's funny because like he was semi-normal a while ago because I remember him being you could talk really well with him and he wouldn't lose the plot, but something happened and switched. I think it's the same thing happened to Agrippa. Something snapped and he went rogue.
Helena blames the Paltalkers.
I'd believe it. The little bit of time he did in jail probably didn't help.
Is he
Yeah.
still a Christian?
Kind of.
Kind of. Okay.
Eh. Like he'll argue for Christianity, but like, is he a Christian? Eh.
In the same way G-Man is a Christian.
You remember when Dio? Did you ever hear about Dio? How Dio got fired from his job?
I wasn't aware Dio ever had a job.
Oh. He was a teacher at some point, and he started sending Macbeth quotes to some other teachers.
Oh
like,
yeah.
Yeah. Now you remember.
Yeah, I mean it's not as bad as, somebody sending an email like specifically saying they don't want to like, deal with other people's Sky Daddy and claiming that got them fired.
Yeah. But,
I won't go into who that was, but yeah. It's a matter of public record.
that's fine.
But yeah. It's community's been super interesting.
And this has been wonderful too. Like, I can't keep singing the praises of AO and everybody else involved. Somebody described it. It was like all the little Discord satellites sort of having somewhere to group together, which is similar to what the GDC was doing originally.
Yeah, well, and it needed to be somebody who wasn't like old guard, because then it would be seen as biased.
Yeah.
It needed to be a new person. I'm not even gonna lie.
I mean, a lot of the people try to come to Tom's, but Tom's is just, it's a place.
Yeah, I've never tried to go to Tom's because, well, it's a place.
I've never gone to Tom's either. It scares me.
Oh, JJ comes over here. You guys like JJ?
Yeah, JJ's a good guy. Every time I've spoken with him,
I don't know who that is.
He's a giant troll, but he's entertaining. I'll say it that way. That's why I like JJ. Is he never fails to entertain.
True. Oh man.
Somebody in the live chat's having a go at you, Shadow.
Really? Who is it?
Yeah, Tattered Philosophy.
Oh, that's what Tatted does, though.
Oh, I thought it was a joke, a friendly ribbing. Is this
It is.
Oh, good.
Yeah, I thought so too, yeah.
I wanted to see a roast, though, so come on, get some enemies.
Have you had many roasts in these hangouts?
Yeah, oh my god.
Like, there's been a couple so far.
It's only been about a week, right? Has it been here about a week? People have popped off so many times. I went to sleep and I woke up to apparently the server being like N-bombed out of existence.
Oh yeah, because Stizor showed up.
And then I had
somebody actually gave him on.
And then I had Brenda come and get triggered about it. I had a Jewish revolt the day after that. Like, fuck. Literally every single day so far there's been some level of like drama or controversy or something. No wonder I'm the one to start this fucking shit.
That's what it is though. That's what the GDC always was.
Yeah,
you'd have shit fights for 3 hours and then normality for 7 and then shit fights for another 5.
How Nadia's hangouts were. It was like, okay, we've got all these people in here that want to have a discussion. Okay, 4 or 5 hours of people having discussion, 3 hours of Rand Campbell screaming at people and like people telling Rand to fuck off and him not fucking off. And then like now there's nobody around because it's the middle of the night and Nadia's passed out and people start showing up and being really weird and creepy. And then Nadia starts the next stream when she wakes up and it all starts over again.
That's pretty much what this has been. I've pretty much just been jumping in. I think it's about 2 streams so far I've taken part in more than usual, but mostly I just leave it running in the background. That's why there's like half an hour of dead air at the beginning of the stream. I'm just sat there not doing anything.
Well, have you thought about like creating a second Discord account to set in to capture the audio so you can use your personal one to do other stuff?
Yeah, someone said that to me, but I can already still use all my personal stuff because I never use Discord on PC. Like, this is the only time I've ever actually used Discord on PC was because I needed to set up this stream, so it doesn't inconvenience my shit at all.
Right on.
There is a way to set it up on PC too, to do it through OBS.
Yeah.
You can specifically target a special window that targets Discord properly.
Yeah.
We're talking,
would you do it over again?
Would I do this over again? Yeah, it doesn't really faze me. It's just fucking a bit annoying sometimes, but welcome to the internet. It's been fun. It's been more fun than annoying. So, yeah, I'd probably do it again. And I like it. Like, everyone's like talking to each other and doing shit and interacting, and it's cool. I like it. I like it.
It's definitely nostalgic.
Oh yeah.
Oh no, nobody picks topics. Like, talk about what you want to talk about. It's an open hangout for a reason. It's completely open. There are certain topics like they get squashed because it's YouTube and we can't talk about them. But yeah,
can't say the C word right now.
Cunt.
No, Corona. Uh-oh, you're gonna get info on from the World Health Organization on your YouTube video now.
Possibly. Possibly. Hang on. I gotta, you said the word, now I have to post something in meme chat once I find it again. I have to scroll up a while.
Hey, AO, if you see Serb around, ask him about Rob Beasley.
Oh, he's a mod. He'll be
name.
around today.
Yeah, he's
remember
around
that name and ask him.
Send me a DM.
Rob Beasley and tell you the story.
I won't remember it, but yeah, I'll try.
It's the most hilarious, unrealistic story you'd ever heard, but it's all true.
Vincent.
It is all true.
Yeah.
Is your name Vincent, Shadow?
It is.
Are you the Vincent I talked about in my original video?
I will admit to not having watched it, so possibly.
Are you Red's Rhetoric, Vincent?
Yes, I am.
Yeah, okay, you was the one I was talking about. Do you want to go into a bit of that history? Because I want to know a bit about...
What would you like to know?
I want to know a bit about the whole... Did Reds fuck you over for rent and stuff? Because in my video, I had screenshots of PayPal and things that came from Reds. I can re-grab that out for you if you want. And it's indicated Reds that did pay you, and he paid you more than he needed to sometimes.
He did pay me. He did pay me extra a few times, but he also cost me more money than he should have at times as well. Like when Sean Hufford and Hannah came to visit, and I had to be the one to go and pick them up from the airport. Not Hannah, because he did that, but he's the one that made Sean Hufford e-bag for a hotel room because he couldn't stay at his parents' house until Sean's plane landed. So then I had to call off of work and borrow my roommate, our other roommates at the time, to drive the 2.5 hours to Tampa. That was $50 there. Then I had to go get Pew later that week because Red had promised these people that they could stay in my house. It's not like he asked if they could stay in my house. He had these plans, and so this is what was going to happen. He caused me so much stress because bills were so tight that the police were called to my work while he was off and visiting his family in Tampa. The police showed up and escorted me out of the building, and I was placed on medical leave and missed 2 weeks of work until I could be cleared to go back to work. There were a few other things like that happened. And so when the GoFundMe was put together, it was put together taking all those things into consideration to help me catch up on the bills that I had come out of pocket for to cover for his mistakes. Because it's not like he was paying me for gas to go do all this extra stuff for him or paying me for the time that I missed work. So yeah, he did end up paying me, I think it was an extra in total $500, but that's what I spent. And then there were late fees from the bank on top of that because my accounts were overdrawn.
Oh, sorry, I was muted. That was embarrassing. Thank you. So, in my video, I quote Reds as saying that you shared an original place of work, and that Reds claims that you went into that place of work and divulged personal information about his private mental health. That was lies.
No, there weren't any lies.
Did you divulge? Did you divulge?
Did I divulge information about what was going on at our house when my supervisors and such asked me? Yeah. Because they asked me what was going on in our household. And I can't not tell my supervisor, look, here's what's going on. Here's this dude who's coming into work every day, who's crying at his desk, who's not talking to anybody, who people can see is visibly disturbed. But I'm letting you know he's okay. We're doing what we can to get these things taken care of. I spent more time trying to justify, him being okay than I did telling them anything that was. At one point, I may have said that, I had confiscated his firearm because he gave it to me, because he told me himself that he felt like eating a bullet.
So how did he find out about that? How did it all go off?
The last straw was we would share a car to work, and a week before he decided he was moving out, we had a conversation, and he point blank told me to my face that he didn't know he could trust me. So during that next week, on the Tuesday, while he was out of town, he did a flat Earth debate. Well, he and Hana had broken up at the time, and she was across the planet in Japan on a trip that she had been planning for years, trying to have a good time. And she showed up in the live chat of this flat Earth debate and said something. So after the debate, he lost his mind and called her on the phone and had hours. I don't know exactly how long the conversation was. I know it was over Wi-Fi. I assume it was long. And I get, at 3 in the morning, while I was half asleep, I get a bunch of Discord messages from Hana. And then I get phone calls from other people. And I woke up. And then I get into a call with Hana. And she tells me that Red has essentially told her that his Ruger was looking friendly and basically insinuating that he would eat a. I had given him back his firearm. It was in his room. So she asked me to confiscate his firearm so that he didn't harm himself, even though he wasn't home. So I did. We went to work that Wednesday night, and I hadn't, with everything going on and Red's having shown up 5 minutes before we needed to leave for work, I didn't have a chance to tell him, hey, I confiscated your gun, but seeing your state of mind right now, I will give that back to you when we get back to the house, or just give it to him when he walked in the door, which is not something you generally do when your roommate comes home. Hey, here's your gun back. And we'd gone through the drive-thru at McDonald's, gotten something to eat. We were eating in the break room right before work. And I told him, hey, when we get back to the house, because I had gotten phone calls, I took your gun, I'll make sure you get it back because it's obviously you're not in a bad spot. And because I tried to do this as privately as possible, he looked at me kind of funny. And as I was ending the statement, a coworker that he had been confiding in and gaslighting to have a bad opinion of me came into the room and overheard at least part of the statement. And so he felt like I was outing publicly that, he may be suicidal, which is not what I was trying to do. So drove home that morning on Thursday. They dropped me at the house. He took this other girl home. He came back. He demanded his firearm, which I promptly gave him. He looked me dead in the face and said, I don't think I can trust you. I looked him dead in the face and I said, I thought we were already past that, because he had told me the week before that he couldn't trust me. And then 3 days later, he moved out of my house without speaking one word to me.
So do you think you crossed the line at all, or do you think you were right to? Did you feel genuine concern to share that information, or do you think how you approached the situation was correct?
Do I feel that I may have made some mistakes in the way that I handled things? There may have been some mistakes made, but there were also the mistakes that, I made that I own. Do I feel justified in the fact that, I was doing the right thing at that time, yeah. In hindsight, there may have been some mistakes, but at that time, everything, given the information I had to work with, was the right.
Y'all just heard my headset drop. Sorry, I got warnings about a buzz and I'm trying to sort that out. Is it still there? Okay. Alright, let's hope. And sorry, what did you say? You said at the time you think you did the right thing.
I feel I took the correct course of action.
What do you think that information you would have liked to have at the time? Oh, sorry, wait a second, sorry, I didn't actually correct that, and I'm such a fucking idiot. So let me take that from the top. So you said you felt you dealt with it correctly at the time.
Yeah, I do. But see, the other problem is that at the same time that all this was happening, Red was talking to other people and getting advice and or gaslighting them, his version of things. Because everything that he tells people is always somebody else's fault. So he was giving information to people, and they were giving him advice and information just off of his story and not looking for objective facts, which is why when things went really south, nobody talked to me at all. The only people that actually talked to me were people that Red had cut ties with. So that's why Drag and Sam and Sokka and people like that know more about this stuff, because they were in off-air hangouts when Red sent me like a demand for an apology with a countdown timer, trying to blackmail me to apologize for things I didn't feel the need to apologize for, and I still don't.
And what was that? What was he expecting the apology for?
Well, he said lying about him. Just blatantly lying about him in public. Which I've never done.
So he says to me that the blatant lying was that he wasn't in a negative mental health position and that you were just saying that to smear him.
Oh, okay. So he wasn't the guy who was coming to work shaking visibly and that other people were obviously worried about, because if I have to go track those people the fuck down to drag them onto the fucking internet, I probably will at this point, considering a lot of them still live in here. If I have to get on air tonight and grab my roommate who lived with us at the time, who could see his fucking state of being, I'll do it.
Do it. I think he should do it. But all I'm taking is from Red's rhetoric position. When I made my video, I was isolated from talking to everyone, so all I had was Red's rhetoric's version of events, and so in that version of events he recalls it as essentially you just being a malicious roommate.
Do I sound like I'm malicious?
Well, I wouldn't be able to judge off of this interaction.
Well, no, I'm asking as in general as a person. Like, if you talk to anybody that knows me,
no,
do I sound like a malicious person?
No, but
No.
The reason that I haven't spoken out against Red for over 2 years now is because I'm not a malicious person. Because I felt the vile and terrible things that he said about me would speak more to his character than it would about me if I simply fought back. Because I don't have a platform. He has thousands of people that watch him that swallow his dick and buy his bullshit all the fucking time. That's why anytime he wants a new toy, he can fire up a GoFundMe and he's got it.
So you were intimidated by his support?
I was. I'm not gonna say I wasn't. I was cut off from the community as a whole, with the exception of Drag and a few others. And I was even alienated from Hana because she can get back together with him. I lost friends over this, and they didn't even come to speak with me to find out my side of the story. Just, okay, Red said a thing, I'm buying his bullshit, hasta la taco.
I've been in that position, but it's not nice. But that's just...
It's not.
It's the nature of the internet. But one thing, I feel like people need to learn is to not be intimidated by shit like that, because it's when you're intimidated you don't speak out, and then there's only one narrative being heard.
Yeah. That was the problem. It was the one narrative was being heard. But I mean, there's no point for me having a counter narrative. Nobody's listening to me. I mean, they may listen to me now, but they weren't at the time. They didn't care. Most of them still don't care.
And I think the same's true now. Most people still don't care, but it should be about, for yourself. The reason I do shit like that is because I want to make myself known, heard, and clear. If people don't believe me, they don't, but I've done it.
I'm starting to get that feeling now, by the way that Buzz is back. I'm gonna do what you know.
Bear with me on the stream, everyone. I'm gonna try reconnect, I think it might be the USB port or something. BRB.
Mm-hmm. Not once. Even in the original GoFundMe where he says I did. Which, I mean, I'll be happy to produce that if people want it.
Sorry, did I just interrupt? I'm just gonna quickly
No,
talk
you're
so
fine.
that I can listen to see how much I'm killing people.
So about the GoFundMe business, I remember it was advertised around,
Okay, thank
and
you. Let
people
me know in
supported it.
chat. I think I might need to replace this headset because I do kind of slightly hear it in the background. I don't know what's going on, but yeah, let's go.
Yeah, slight bars. But I believe it was advertised in the GDC, Steve's GDC, and they blocked it and banned it and got rid of it because they said it was
They said it was
fraudulent fraud.
They said I was committing fraud. They accused me of committing an actual crime, yeah. And it was never posted by me, it was posted by Hana. And then Hana was immediately banned from the GDC, and the post was torn down. And then Sokka invited her back and put the post back up, and it was done again. And when people asked Steve, he had no idea what happened to it. And then 10 minutes later, Steve's the one that did it.
Yeah. Yeah, I remember that.
Oh, whoa.
So are you gonna come? Are you gonna bring your friend to verify what you said?
I honestly need to run it by him because I don't want to put him out there on the internet if he doesn't want to be. But I'm really, really fucking tired of my character being brought into question every fucking time somebody's just Red's told them about me. Because it seems like Red tells people about me and wants to come at me. They want to take his narrative and run with it and use that to attack Straw me.
Well,
and
maybe we
you
can
can
talk,
attack it.
because I already have. I've never actually spoken to you about your side of the story, but I already have all of Red's side of the story and the receipts and stuff. So
yeah, you're fine to talk to me. I'm fine with telling people this stuff. I'd prefer not to do it because I don't want to bring up old drama and personal finances.
But you were
shit.
you weren't the person to drag this up. That was me, kind of not knowing the situation, but Reds mostly was referring to your circumstance to justify the funeral situation.
I had nothing to do with the funeral situation, though.
No, but it was, so this is his reasoning. This was the reasoning I presented in the video that came straight from him, and I did give that disclaimer. Was that he had a roommate, that's you, of course. The roommate was malicious, went and lied about him and his actions to his co-workers. His co-worker came and told him about it. From that moment, he decided he couldn't trust you and moved out. Because he moved out within a short period of time, apparently you and your friends group created a fraudulent fundraiser saying that Reds hadn't paid you what you needed and he had just left you in the red, sort of thing. And because of the support for that fraudulent fundraiser comes from people within Reds or Eric's friends group as well, that made him uncomfortable on this trip to Jade's funeral, and that's why he wasn't comfortable engaging with everyone, because everyone supported you on that situation, allegedly.
He had already written all those people off, so that's just a lie on his end, but it's whatever.
Yeah, I was just reciting what he was saying, yeah.
Yeah. I specifically didn't go to that funeral. I wanted to. Jade was my friend. I wanted to be there. I specifically didn't go because I wanted to spare his fucking feelings. Because I didn't want all this shit to come up again. And he wants to say that I'm a malicious fuck. He can go fuck himself. Twice. With a cactus. I don't give a fuck.
Good.
I'm
sorry, but I have no reason to necessarily judge you maliciously right now. But I have a lot of reasons to judge Reds maliciously, so...
Yeah.
Look in the mirror kind of thing.
To the point this past December, I was literally to the point where I was ready to say, you know what? It's okay. I forgive Reds for everything that happened. I'm done. If he ever needs help, if he's ever stuck, if there's something that I can do, and he's stuck on the side of the highway somewhere in the same state, because it's not like the state's huge, or he actually needs help and I can give it to him, I'll do it. But now it's coming back up that he just keeps fucking lying about me for no fucking reason. After the company we worked for filed bankruptcy, I haven't been able to find a job since. I can't hold that against Red. But he lied to get the transfer to Tampa so that he could move out. And then he quit his first day there in Tampa because he couldn't fucking handle having the job. Because he knew he had the job being a fucking automotive parts fucking slinging whatever waiting for him. But then he didn't even take that job right away. He took 6 weeks and went to see Sean Hufford because Sean Hufford's dad died, which was one of the catalysts. I wasn't ever going to ask for a fundraiser. The only reason the fundraiser for me got set up was because somebody was trying to help out Sean Hufford with his fundraiser, and he came in and he roasted them. And they were crying because all they wanted to do was help this man, and he fucking completely and totally tore them down. And so they asked if I needed help. And the catalyst for that was me going, you know what? You need something else to divert your attention to. You've always been good at promoting this kind of stuff. Let's do this. I could have gone without the GoFundMe, but they asked me, what do you need to make you whole? Because I know that you're still struggling. Because Reds didn't pay his last. He held that 2-hour help.
Wait, hold up a second. Sorry, the stream and signal's dropping.
Okay.
Just for a second. I think it's stable. Is it stable?
It seems to be back.
Okay, there we go. Sorry, guys. Anyway, carry on.
No, it's fine. But he held a 2 to 2.5 hour session on YouTube where he roasted me and said he had these financial disclosures and probably the same screenshots that he gave you, and was trying to give them to other people. And when it was pointed out to him that every adult on the planet knows that when you rent a place, the rent is due on the 1st, and he couldn't actually confirm that, that told everybody everything they needed to know. Because if you look at the screenshots from PayPal, every month that he was here, I had to fight with him to get the rent. It was always the 9th or the 10th before rent was getting paid. And that was only because the landlord would send me a text going, hey guys, you need to pay your rent.
That's interesting.
So, Angry Roach in the chat said, Anti-Ordinary, ask Shadow why he didn't tell me that it was Steve, that it was him Steve was talking about. I'm not sure if you get that reference.
I get that reference from the clip that Angry Roach posted in the drama chat in Drag's Discord from a few days ago. And by the time I had seen that was posted, things had moved on a bit. Hana had clarified, and I didn't want to come back around to it. I should have contacted you privately, and I haven't watched that clip, so I don't know what was said. So, hopefully
Angry
the
Roach, what's your context? For anyone in the future, if you want me to read something, add the context of what you're talking about, because I don't keep up with what I was saying. But it's Angry Roach says there is proof of this. I don't know what proof we're referring to though. I do have the proof of the screenshots. I think an argument he said, and he was lurking in the comments. I don't think he actually left a comment on that video, but he was lurking in the comments of that video because I remember speaking to him. He seemed a bit overwhelmed, so I remember speaking to him after my video, and he was like obsessively going over the comments, seeing the arguments that people were providing against him and countering them to me personally. And one of the ones was, well, look at the dates he's paying on PayPal. That's not the date rent gets paid or something. I don't know how solid that is as an argument, but his return to that was, well, he was subletting from you, so he would pay you the rent at a certain time, and you would pay the landlord, and he didn't pay you at the same time you paid the landlord.
That's I'm sure that's true in his mind, but that's not actively true. Let me see if I can go back to 2018 here.
Look at me,
because
filling the community in on history.
Yeah, you have the dates where he paid me. I have the dates where I paid the landlord and my PayPal. Because I paid the landlord through PayPal.
Oh, yeah.
Give me just a moment.
That was another argument that I thought was a little bit silly from some people I saw in the comments saying, who pays their rent via PayPal? I'm just like, yeah, well, I don't know. It's weird, but I suppose he could. It's still money.
My landlord was, like, I never met him personally. Not once. For that place.
It's quite common.
Let's see. Okay, here's where... Oh, well, I don't want to share these screenshots to everybody because they have his name. How convenient.
Yeah.
I mean, I really honestly don't care so much, but at the same time, yeah.
His name's out there in YouTube videos and things like that.
I don't want to dox him because that's one of the things he's accused me of trying to do.
Oh no, yeah, I'm definitely not suggesting doxing him. I'm just saying his privacy hasn't been maintained very well.
Mm-hmm. Well, for April, which is he moved out March 31st.
Angry Roach said, Anti-Ordinary, tell Shadow to go to Drag's Discord. I'll give him the proof, and it's up to him if he wants to release it or share it.
Alright, I will, yeah. Well, I mean, at this point, I think I'm done talking about this particular subject. I will gather some screenshots onto when the rent was paid. That'll give you my landlord's name as well, because my landlord the PayPal was his direct PayPal. So, but I can corroborate that that is the landlord if I need to with the other person that was on the lease. And I will say that the last day that Red had anything to do with the rent was April 7th, when he had that giant live stream on his channel, and everybody put enough pressure onto him that he called my roommate on the and paid him on the spot.
So, do you mind me? Maybe you'll know more than most people. What's the history between Red's Rhetoric and Sean Hufford?
Honestly, they met through YouTube a while back, and Reds has been there for Sean when Sean's dad died. Went up there in person and such, and he stood by Sean. I don't know why Sean feels to stick up for Red the way that he does, but he does, and so I'm not gonna even worry about it so much.
I found out
Um,
Sean Hufford was on a transsexual dating website. That was a fun moment because I was confused whether he was the one with the boobs.
Yeah.
Shady Queen. Oh, whoever it was, sorry, I can't remember your name because it honestly didn't hold that much weight, but I felt bad for them because they came and they shared this screenshot of Sean Hufford on this TS Mingle thing, and it was more just a lol. No one was taking it serious as like a transphobic jab or anything. It was just like, look where you can find some people you know around the internet kind of thing. And then we went into the whole jokes and things, and then someone messaged me after it and I was like, hi, do you get the impression I'm transphobic? I really hope you don't. I'm sorry for making all those jokes about Sean and the TS Mingle stuff. And I was like, oh my god, no, it was a lol, stop.
Yeah. Let's see here. Going through my PayPal here. Rent was paid on January 5th. In January, that was before Red moved in. He moved in on the 11th. I didn't charge him rent or deposit or anything for the month of January. He started at CareSync in sometime early February. I don't have the exact date. Rent for February was paid on the 5th of February. And I didn't get anything from Reds until March 4th on my PayPal. Now, I will say in February that he did give his first check, which was about $200 from his first week of work. So that covered his rent for that month, February. But like I'm seeing here the charge for when I bought blades from when Sean Hufford crashed his drone, and I bought him some extra blades for that. I don't expect Red to pay that back. I don't expect Sean to pay that back. I did that out of my heart. Rent for March was paid on the 9th. And so I had gotten $250 from Reds on March to help with covering gas and the few days that I missed for work in February. And then I got on March 9th, I got $265 from him to help cover the rent. And rent was paid on the 9th. The only other transaction I have, the 7th of April for the rent for April because he moved out on March. I don't have anything else from him.
Yeah, I think it was just good to get some of your side of the story.
Mm-hmm.
Especially, it's good. I feel like it was good I asked you as well, since I was so quick to come and drag that onto the internet, and I never had your opinion.
I mean, nobody got my opinion. Nobody got my opinion at the time. They were all saying, stay skeptical and everything else, but nobody can actually talk to me. And let me see what he was pissed off about. Because he was pissed off at the way I had originally worked. Where I had stated that I lost a roommate and I was in the red. Didn't mention a name, any of that. Wasn't trying to make him look like a shitty person. Just, hey, I lost a roommate, I'm in the red, my car got repossessed because I didn't drive it, so I missed the last one payment on it, and my insurance lapsed. So I let them come and get it instead of paying them the last $200 on it. I have a screenshot of the original. I'm trying to find that I'll happily post into Discord. But the only thing that I took out of that GoFundMe that made it fine for him and everybody else after I edited it was the fact that I had mentioned that we had lost, that I had a roommate move out abruptly. And the people that donated that, which is, still up even though it's closed, if you'd like to go look at it, weren't his friends. They were people that donated because certain people had asked them to, and because they thought it was a good cause. They wanted to genuinely help. Nobody was
What was the goal?
It was $1,500 total.
Yeah, I found it. I'm posting it in the live chat.
Yeah.
It's quite hypocritical given the, all the GoFundMes and social, group funding things that've been going on their side.
I wasn't going to bring that up, but yeah.
I mean, even if you just went, I'm going through a hard time at the moment. I don't ever do this. If you can help out, you can help out. Which is, similar to what you did because you'd never name names or anything, which is fine. But to say that it was fraudulent and then given the shit that they've been doing in the last 12 months, it's just laughable.
But when you also look at it from this perspective, it was, we'll GoFundMe, they shit on it, okay, whatever. It met the goal because people in the community actually cared, and most of the people that donated actually came in.
Yeah.
Or people that just wanted to take the piss out of Steve because Steve was losing his ever-loving fucking mind.
Well, actually, I remember at the time because I seen that. I think Deirdre might have posted the GoFundMe to me, and I read the description. I didn't even know you were living with Red. I had no idea.
That was his point. That was his major point of contention.
Yeah.
Was that everybody knew he was my roommate. So since everybody knew, it was reflecting poorly on him.
Yeah,
and I was attacking him.
That was his thing with me as well.
Idea.
Yeah, there were plenty of people out there.
Absolutely honest, I had no idea.
Yeah, there were plenty of people out there that did. Here we are.
But people like spending money on people they don't like. Like, it's kind of, I don't know why, but I made a Steve McRae Rape Apologetics merch. And people bought the fucking, what's it called? The mug that has, did anyone see the Steve McRae Urban Dictionary definition?
I have seen that.
So I took a copy of that image and put it on a Teespring mug and started selling that.
That's actually pretty amazing.
And people actually fucking bought it. I actually was memeing. People actually fucking bought that. And I'm like, oh my god, shut the fuck up. I'm going to just start a Steve McRae collection.
Well, I mean, if you look...
Send me the link. Send me the link for it. I want it.
You should... I don't know if the donations are public.
I'll send you it. I'll put it in the chat.
But, I mean, I'll go through the people that donated me. Because I wanted to thank them all at the time. And I still haven't actually made an effort to put out there on YouTube my thanks. I've contacted most of them privately and said thank you. I mean, I'll read through it, but I mean, some of the
So-
people just anonymous. Some of the people were someone better than Steve. That's literally what it says for, so like at least one of the donations to my GoFundMe.
So my whole motivation for the mug thing was when someone done the rape apologetics thing. They went on a campaign and they got it removed next day. Everyone had screenshots of it though, so it doesn't matter. But they had it removed by Urban Dictionary the next day, and I was just a little bit too late. And I went onto the Urban Dictionary thing to buy myself one of their own mugs that has their definitions on it, and I just wanted to get it. And then it was removed, like the whole definition was removed, so I just made it myself because I felt like that was his way of avoiding it. Like he just got it removed from the internet.
But no, you pulled up the GoFundMe as it sits right now. The GoFundMe that I did.
Yeah.
Oh. That's the original, right there, Any Ordinary. Tell me how much editing was done, because it wasn't much.
Do you know what? Like I can understand both people's thing. Like reading this, if I was Reds, I'd be pissed off. But
Yeah,
obviously,
but
then you have the whole situation and the context and the relationship and things. Like I would be pissed off, but I would probably ignore it because I wouldn't want to give you the satisfaction.
He could have come at me about it.
Yeah.
He had my fucking phone number. He could have called me and said, "Hey, dude, what the fuck?" And I'd have spoken to him like a human fucking being. But instead, he went, "You need to apologize for this. You're slandering me," and sent me a countdown timer to try and intimidate me into giving him an apology that I didn't feel he deserved. My honest response at the time, and I still feel this way, I don't negotiate with terrorists, and that's all he was trying to do.
Fat Photog said I was happy to donate. Fuck Rocket Raccoon.
Yeah.
Well, where does it say? Hang on. Why would he be upset? I don't understand, because I read this and I didn't even know you were living with the Reds.
Hang on. Let me send you the original.
The original just is essentially like... Shall I read it? Shall I read the beginning?
Go for it.
I think that seems like to be the... Oh, it says... Okay, so I'll read it. I don't know how long I'll read it because I can't read very well. Over the last few months, something has come up that was beyond my control. Mainly, I let someone into my house that I thought was going to be an asset. Someone I thought was going to be a friend and would help me stay motivated and help me move in a positive direction. It turns out I was wrong in a lot of ways. Since February, my life has been a whirlwind of things that culminated in my work feeling. It culminated in my work feeling I was unstable enough and emotional that they placed me on leave. Until I saw the doctor and was clear to return, I've gained weight as a result of my physical and mental health. As a result, my physical and mental health are both in a bad place. So now I'm stuck. I've lost a roommate recently due to their choice to move suddenly as rent became due. I've lost my car, so we're down on one vehicle. My bank account is overdrawn and I'm struggling to make my bills. Does it speak about Red Cell anymore?
No, it doesn't.
It doesn't seem like it does. It just goes on to help me offset the costs. These are ways fundraisers can help. Leave my life vague. Yeah, that was about it relating to Reds.
Yeah, and then if you look at what's there now, the only thing that came out was that part about him. That's it.
So like if I was in Red's position and I saw you write that and I didn't think it was true or accurate, I would be pissed off. I can understand being pissed off.
Yeah, I can understand being pissed off, but would you have contacted me about it?
Yeah, probably. Or I would have just
You're more of a man than him.
Yeah, I'm willing to accept that 1,000 times, but I would have just either ignored it because, like you said, was it you, Chris? You didn't know.
No, I had
Yeah.
no idea. Absolutely, and I knew all parties.
Yeah,
And
so
there was, I had no idea that he even moved in with him.
if he just ignored it, it would never have, like, very few people would have tied it back to him. And look,
Yeah.
here we are, like, years later at this point, talking about it. So,
Well, and if he hadn't have blown the fuck up and made a giant thing out of it, it may not have actually gotten to that $1,500. Honestly, though, like
yeah,
I'll be
because
the
it's the
first to admit,
Streisand
there were
effect.
there were a lot of people who were just outraged by the fact that Steve was calling me a fraud and banning other people who would post that link from the GDC with no questions asked. If somebody posted it, they got banned. If somebody mentioned it, they got banned because it was fraudulent. And so they went, okay, well, Der Fuhrer has a problem with this. Let's go piss him off.
Yeah. That's like a lot of... I think a lot of the times, though, so, for example, I don't know, most of you probably haven't heard about this, but there was a fundraiser for someone called Ansgar Oddesen, and I challenged him on that shit, because it was the biggest load of bullshit I've ever heard, and I still stand by it. Come at me, bitches, I don't care. And when he was doing that fundraiser, he literally went out of his way and like lied and misrepresented anything I had said about the situation. And when you go and look at the timeline of funds that goes into his fundraiser, it was like a timid, your friends are donating, you're getting a small amount over time. And then I come out, I have my controversial opinion, I say my shit, and suddenly everyone's donating to your shit. And it's like, it's just the Streisand effect.
Yeah.
Same thing applied to Shamos's GoFundMe.
But okay, like I said, I have the company that Red and I worked for, and I'll be blatantly honest. It was a company called CareSync. You can look it up. They went out of bankrupt. They filed bankruptcy in April, the month after he moved out. Okay, so I was able to get all my bills caught up and everything using that GoFundMe, to then immediately lose my job. I haven't worked since. I've been looking for work, but I haven't had a job since. I live in the ass of nowhere, and there aren't a whole lot of jobs here. And unfortunately, nobody really wants to hire a 400-pound. It doesn't look good for their company insurance and stuff, which is fine. But I haven't asked for any other help. I don't plan to. That was literally a way to recoup the loss. Not only just financially, but also taking out someone who said they were going to do a lot of great things, made a lot of promises that they didn't actually keep, and then moved out at the drop of a dime on the 31st of the month. So that's pretty much where I'm at. Because this has become about me, and I'm just kind of out here, like, it's bringing up a lot of old stuff, and I think I'm gonna go for now.
Okay.
Go over to Drax Discord and talk to.
Thank you for sharing, though. At least you had your...
It's no problem. I mean, if the Pal Talkers were here, I'm sure they'd say moralizing. It's whatever.
That you're what?
That I'm moralizing.
I don't think you're moralizing. I hang out with Jack enough. I don't think you
Okay. Well, I mean, it
I don't know what
is
that
all
means,
just
so no, I don't care, really.
it is all just personal shit, and it should have stayed personal shit. It shouldn't be a thing that's dragged out all over the fucking internet.
I know, but then you have bitches like me that want to spill the tea. That's why you're here, spilling the tea right now.
It's not just you, though, because Reds has done this to everybody. I mean, that's why the guys from the Geek Room had heard terrible shit about me. And I hadn't spoken to those guys since way back when, before the GDC actually like exploded when they were first showing up on Steve's stuff. And I mean, they all seem like really cool dudes. I'd love to get to know Frank and Billy and them, more, but didn't have a chance to until they fell out with Steve. I would have loved to have talked to Shannon Q years ago, but again, I'm persona non grata, so
Not for Shannon
hopefully
Q.
I can now.
I don't,
because
Shannon Q wouldn't have ever thought of you like that. I'm pretty confident in Shannon's character.
yeah, but I didn't have a way to get a hold of her except to reach out to her directly, and I didn't know what she'd been told me.
It's probably nothing. No one really. It wasn't really until stuff started blowing up around the whole funeral controversy last year that it started getting dragged into it. But I never actually heard about this story or you before I'd actually actively tried to figure it out.
No.
But Shannon's not the kind of person to listen to what other people say. She'll form her own opinion.
She's not, and that's one of the reasons that she's awesome. It's just one of those things. Like, one of my major, like, mental health issues is that I suffer from depression, and I have a very opinion of myself. And it's something I struggle with every day, but it was something that was exaggerated a shitload having read here. And I'm happy he's not living with me, and I hope he can make the best out of his life, but it seems all he does now is can chase drama and, feel shitty about himself, so he's got to attack other people.
That's
But
the way.
yeah, I'm gonna go. Hopefully, the conversation can move on to other stuff. And if you want to reach out to me, if like somebody's in it actually wants to address and talk some shit, like I can come back for some blood sports. That's fine. Just tag me.
Yeah, it'll be fun. Have a word with your friend.
I just wish he'd actually come in, man, instead of trying to use his platform to fucking intimidate.
That would require a backbone.
He lacks, for sure.
He's
But,
literally
yeah.
a coward. The only reason I made a video on him was because he looks like a timid chihuahua that everyone was beating up on, and I wanted to come and fight his corner.
Don't feel sorry for me, guys. I've moved on from most of this. It's coming back up now. Kind of hit hard, but I don't think about this stuff anymore. I don't, unless it gets brought up. I've done everything I can to move on, and that's why, like, when they came at me well after the funeral about comments that I at the time of the funeral in a private Discord, when they had said, "We don't care what you say in private," and then those comments from that private from a Discord that had nothing to do with the GDC at all got posted in the GDC, and I got tagged on Google Plus. Just because they needed to call me out and they needed to stir some shit up. That was the day I deleted my Google Plus. It was Christmas Eve of 2018. That was also the day since Red moved out that I've come closest to actually offing myself. Because people on the internet just decided they needed to fucking stalk me and fucking drag up old shit. Fuck them.
I hope I didn't
Agreed.
make you feel shit talking
No,
about
like-
this stuff,
like-
but it's kind of the nature of the internet. Like,
Well, like I said, I haven't watched your video
yeah, I know.
because I don't care about Reds. Like, honestly, I was to the point where I was okay enough with him that I would give him the charity and be at least civil with him. But after everything that's happened in the last couple of months, I don't think I'd piss on him if he was on fire. The video, let's see. Anyways, the video that Reds did where he called me out, it's been taken down because Hana asked him to take it down. So, the copy of it doesn't exist anymore. I mean, if you ask people that were there, Drag, Fiona, Sam, Sokka, it happened.
No one grabbed a copy or nothing.
Nobody thought to grab a copy. Everybody was so shocked that he acted this way, and nobody expected to pull it down.
That's the thing. Like with Red's character, I actually wouldn't have expected him to pull it down either, so I can understand that.
The only reason he pulled it down was because of Hala.
I think he still has something
And
going on in his psychology with Hannah.
Definitely does, but I mean, there are things that I could disclose about that. That's personal. I won't. But yeah, there's a lot going on.
Don't put Hannah in any uncomfortable position.
No, I mean, I won't, and I won't even. No. I do what I can to not.
The first time I ever interacted with anyone in regards to Hannah, I told Holy Spackle to be gone thought.
Yeah.
It was a beautiful moment for us. It was the start of a beautiful engagement. And then after that, the second time I engaged with Holy Spackle, I insulted her like 7 times in the space of a couple of sentences. And she counted them. The bitch counted them. And then I had other people come to me with a number. And I'm like, so fucking what? But Spackle's a really cool person. She's a mod on this thing. And like, we had that moment. We had those seriously bitchy moments, but we sat down, we talked about it, we're over it. It was a really cool, I think she's a cool chick.
Yeah. I'm a firm believer.
You're cutting out.
Hang on.
There you go, you're back.
Yeah. I was going to say, I'm a firm believer in that as long as people can communicate and they want to communicate, you can solve a lot. The problem that I have is that there's one side of this whole thing that does nothing but block and not facilitate any form of communication. They just other everybody.
Yeah, well, like me, I was in my rage moment, so I sent sends out to everyone. I was like, get Holy Spackle, get Fiona, get every bitch in this room with me now. and Holy wasn't taking the bait at all. She was like, fuck that bitch, I'll do what I want. I loved that.
Yeah, she's used to being. She's had some horrible one-on-ones with some people.
Super bad.
She's been around. Yeah, she's been around. Gotten beaten up and verbally abused, and even people that call her friends now verbally abuse her.
They have in the past.
She's resilient.
I don't I will never drag Spackle like that. Like me and Spackle make jokes and stuff, but it's not. She deals with a lot. She's a trooper.
Yeah. Anyways, like I said, I'm gonna.
Yeah.
I will talk to you guys here again in a bit.
In the future, I think you need to turn down your voice activated sensitivity or something, because you get cut out at the end of your words. I think that's what's happening to me last night for the other people.
A lot of it's that I get quiet at the end of sentences usually. My voice just kind of trails off, so it's something that I need to work on personally. But thank you.
It's not a big deal. Thank you for sharing.
It's been fun.
Have a good time, dude.
Wow, got a bit of a story time, bit of salt spilled onto the wounds, eh?
Yeah, that's pretty good.
He's a cool dude.
I don't know him. I never had any way of contacting him until I'm not sure. I think he left a comment on my video, but maybe I'm really mistaking that. And yeah, that was the only time I ever had an interaction with him until in here. And then when Tatted was saying he's Vince, I'm like, I've not heard very many Vinces around here. It's got to be this bitch.
Around these parts.
Around these parts.
Honestly, though, there's not many more. I've known him for 8 years. There's nobody more genuine and honest. Like, honest to the core. Like, it would hurt him to be dishonest.
Like, I can relate to his moment of people just saying shit and then no one coming to you about it. It's like a common thing on the internet.
Yeah, he's part of the. I don't know if you were around when Jello was telling the story about how he used to him and his crew used to hang around and watch Nadia's and watch other sort of hangouts, and then when they'd see good people, they'd jump in and they'd rescue them, and they would invite them into off-air hangouts because Jello would run pure off-air hangouts, no holds barred type thing. But he'd people, and Vince was in that group. They'd pull you aside and go, "Hey, this is how it works here. You know, you got beat around a bit." You know, he'd sort of take you aside and don't give up. It's a good community, and you're just new to it, and they knocked you around a bit. And that's a great thing. That was a great thing for them to be involved with, like Lost Pet Rescue.
The topic, we don't have a topic, Luca. Topics don't exist in this space. The topic
There's
was,
nothing.
why doesn't Demi drag up some history hoping that Red's rhetoric's gonna drop his nukes? I'm just waiting. I wonder, I just wanna know, baby. I just wanna know. Like, I really just wanna... What is it? I'm just so curious. I don't know for anyone in the chat that knows, but Red's rhetoric also Drag's playing big dick energy moves as well, not just Red's rhetoric, but I think Red's is making the first threat, if you can call it that, which I think is completely baseless. Like, he doesn't have anything, he's just saying he has shit in the hopes of bluffing. That's my mind. But when I was making the video on him, and I said before I released it, and the Vincent situation that we just talked about, I said to him before I released it, you know, when I release videos, shit blows up typically. And then he was like, yeah, if that happens, I have this nuke in 7-point fucking bullshit font, and I'm gonna drop that shit on I have the Tsar Bomber of information. And I was like, immediately when I heard that in an off-air hangout, I was like, okay, that's the biggest bullshit bluff I've heard in a while, but I'm not gonna challenge you, I don't care. You'll have to scrub back a little bit, Luca, if you want some background on who Vincent is.
Yep. Rewind.
I thought we were going to get some action there. Brenda turned up.
Did Brenda turn up?
Yeah, she was just in here.
Oh, Brenda, come back. Don't leave me.
I want some fireworks because I missed out on the fireworks.
Grab the popcorn.
Was it just you two calling each other bitches?
No.
Is that all it was?
No, she was trying to play a game and I was just smacking her down for it. That was pretty much it. She came at me sideways. And I was like, are you dumb? And then she was like, yeah, I'm a fucking retard. And then that was it pretty much.
Total
Well,
wanker.
That doesn't sound too explosive.
No, it wasn't actually that explicit. It was more like bitchy, catty, passive-aggressive fucking... she was trying to fuck with me, and then I was going, oh, baby, you're so cute. Oh, I love you so much. Have my babies. And
Is
then...
that why Jello was getting so excited earlier?
And then she said that I was calling her a man because I said I wanted to have her babies. And then she, said I was trying to misgender her because I said dude. And then she said some other stupid shit, like, you choose to believe your shit. And then she said some other... It's like, I love Brenda.
Oh, man, that reminds me of, the southern ones are like, oh, bless your heart, and stuff like that.
Oh, honey.
Honey,
Listen,
sweetie. Sounds a little more obvious. But...
I don't know what happened. The stream dropped for literally a microsecond, but nothing went wrong on my side. So maybe YouTube's going down again. So yeah, everyone's history in this community. We should have a history night. We should have the Great Debate history revealed. And we get everyone that's had some form of history in this community to come sit in the VC and just share their shit.
That'd be
You
good.
would need a year.
We got a while. This server's not going anywhere. As long as Steve's not going
There's a-
anywhere.
There is some great classic stories. Just ask a few people. There's some really you wouldn't believe it. You'd go, that didn't happen, and you go, yeah, it happened. And some people have actually got receipts that it did happen.
Yeah, it would be cool. Like if Vincent comes back and brings his friend to verify his claims, that would be cool.
Yeah, just a teaser trailer. Somebody was either live or it was recorded live, taken away by medical professionals in a straitjacket while they were streaming.
Who? What? When? Where? What? Why? How?
Yeah, that's
bitch?
funny. You talked about
Who?
that.
What?
earlier.
Wait, I missed the name. Who are we talking
You did
about?
miss it.
I posted you the name. I sent it to you.
Wait.
said I'll search about it.
You know I'm not concerned with spilling shit, right?
Oh, no, you're not spilling anything. It was Rob Beasley.
Ah, I don't know who that is, but what?
Yeah, so that's what I'm saying. Like, speak to Serb and air that live.
Oh
It's
yeah.
funny shit.
Yeah.
And he may even have the stream still because I think it was Serb that was actually restreaming it. He may still have the footage. It's amazing. And then the same guy, not to spoil too much, but the same guy, he smuggled in a phone or a laptop or something into the mental institution, and he was streaming from the mental institution live.
Me. That's what I would do. Like, I'm not
It's
even
just
guessing.
glorious.
If I got put in a straitjacket, you'd see me like, hey, what's up? Welcome back to my channel. This is my asylum vlog, day 1.
And this guy was Australian, which isn't a good advertisement.
Please talk about Rob. Oh, is that the person we're talking about? Yeah, well, Seb's
Yeah.
a mod of the server. So he should be around some point today. So if anyone
No,
remembers
if I-
this, spam it in chat when he pops up and I'll get it.
If I remember correctly, he may still have the video of it if it was him, which is just gold. You could just play that video, like restream that video, and it would go mental.
Oh, well, I have the backdrop for it now. The stream's been laid out. We could fit it in there.
He used to join a lot of live chats and demand to have moderation control. So you go, mod control. I'm not talking to anybody unless you give me mod control. And so you could mute people and kick them out. And he would ask women if they could take their tops off.
Oh, that's a little awkward.
He used to
A little
say,
problematic.
Take your top off. Yes.
Yeah.
But
mean-
they were good times.
As a part of a community, where we would do a vagina test on the women that came in, and they'd have to like pick from these pencil drawings of like 30 different vaginas on like which one theirs was closest looking like.
What?
Oh, God.
What? What did I just hear in my fucking ear holes? What the fuck did I just hear in my fucking ear holes?
As a part of a community where
So this
When
is a
the-
real story.
oh, this is a real story.
Okay. Go on.
Well, I was part of a community where when new women would come to the community, certain members of the community would send a picture of like that has like a list of like 30 different like drawn vaginas, and then the women would choose like which theirs was closest to.
What kind of community was this?
It's just another community on Discord.
Just another community in the
That's-
Discord drawing 30 fucking pussies and getting you to pick from one. That doesn't sound like just another
There-
Discord.
There were medically drawn ones. There were like actual like.
Oh yeah, because that makes it so much better, right?
I didn't say it was any better.
Describe your pussy for me, or you shall not pass.
Look, for pure, just like just investigatory purposes, can you give me the link to that Discord?
I'm not allowed. What
I wanna make
happens?
sure
What happens
that
for
that's
me?
right.
What if a bitch like me turns up?
Well, we don't do that anymore, so it's not a thing
Aw.
anymore.
Do that anymore.
Well, see, the thing is, if the women actually said no, like no, thank you, we wouldn't do it.
Oh yeah,
but if they
because
like
that makes
went
it
along with
better.
it,
As long as they said thank you.
there's like implied consent. No.
Oh, no.
You do not gain entry until you do that.
Pussy pop for us. That's so bad. But like,
Oh
it
my
would be even
God.
worse. The kind of chicks that would do that. Like, I'm not even. If you're gonna sit there and describe your pussy to random people on a server, that's your business. I would join that server. I would immediately be like, okay, I just have to I'll just move my finger around and pick one. That's not working for me. Did you do the same for guys? Did you have like micro peens and shit?
Oh, we talk about our penises all the time. And then since I'm bisexual, I would like. So my favorite thing to do was like guys would always like orbit the women or like hit on them and say like gross shit at them. But I would love like being like, show me your dick. What's up? Like, I'll suck that dick. Just like go in on them.
I
like
love
hit
it.
on them hardcore. Especially if they had a big dick. Oh, I was all over
Gay
them.
trolling is
It
the
was
best
bad.
trolling.
It was trolling, but it was like, if they were around, if they were close to me, I'd definitely hit them up. Like, it wasn't.
Cut
I don't
Grinder
know call
out.
it exactly trolling.
You heard it here first.
Available.
Who needs Grinder when you have Discord
Exactly.
and fucking vagina tests?
I've got to say, innocently, just being in the community, I've seen way more dick pics than I have anything else, and that's like I'm not even searching for them.
I'm so
Yeah.
desensitized to dick pics at this point. Like, it's not even a thing. I can't go on my Facebook without like it being 700 dick pics and like 2 messages from people I know.
There's once this one girl I knew actually started collecting them, and then like guys would like send them their dick pics to her, and then she would like rate them and then like tell them how small they were compared to other ones.
People try to pay me to do that. Like, I'm not going to rate your dick for free, bitch.
Oh dear.
I must be moving in the wrong circles, said Daryl. Yeah, I guess I exist on base level internet.
The great dick measuring community. That chat's hilarious.
It's just classic Discord community. Oh my god. The gynecologist community. Oh no, I hate this so much.
Gynecologist community.
I just hate it. I hate this whole concept so much. Whoever it is, one of you bitches are probably watching somewhere. Check yourself. Go figure yourself out. What psychology led you down this path?
Yeah, this
And
is a
also
nice
the
place.
bitches
We'll
that
never-
went
we'll
along
never
with
measure
it.
your dicks.
The bitches that went along with it as well. You need to go check yourself as well. Actually, maybe the server's the best place for them all.
We'll e-penis measure your e-penis, but we won't ever measure your actual penis.
Your e-penis.
Yeah, you've heard that before.
No.
like,
I feel like
like-
he said that so confidently, like, oh yeah, of course you've heard what an e-penis is before.
Heard that before. It's the like your stature on the internet. Like Steve McRae's got a great big e-penis. It's like
Well, Steve
I'm a
McRae
big
has a
man on the internet.
micro-peen.
Yeah, but if you was somebody that it's like an ego.
I
Like
have a
penis.
horse dick.
Well, literally somewhere in the house.
Is it available?
It's under the bed.
Oh, okay.
What's the TMI measurement?
Too much information. That's what I read it as.
Oh,
But yeah, anything on anyone's mind? Any drama they still... I feel like today's a drama day. Today's been pretty much only drama. Like, people have come here and we've just talked about Heretic, and then we talk about Steve, and then it's Reds. And we can't say
Midnight.
we're not fighting everyone on all aisles here. Come on. Heretic's the biggest pussy amongst them.
is there anybody that wouldn't normally get shade we can have a go at? Like, I don't know, Dragnot.
Like, you can't shade Dragnot. I feel like he's too aware of his shortcomings as a failure.
Yeah.
It's the truth. That's just terrible.
That is
Like
funny because
earlier
it's
when you-
true. That's why. It's funny because it's true.
It's like earlier when you were talking you were talking about like some guy that like he asked to be roasted and be like you couldn't handle being roasted or like
Oh, that
too
was
weak
good,
for
though.
it. That was terrible. Like that was a roast in itself. Like, just like
It was true,
this
though.
is- It is. It's just fucking hilarious. It's
Right.
been interesting for me to like because I've been a part of the Discord community for longer than like people from Pal Talk and Google Hangouts and Great Debate community like come in sometimes or are part of the community and then just like hear the stories from there and then now hear different sides of them over here.
That's great. Yeah.
Hear other people's
We
stories.
roast-
What I
Roasted,
like though
ro-
is it's like there's all these LARPers right laying around. It's like I don't know, but these people I see pop into these hangouts have like characters. I feel like it's characters. I can't tell, but I feel like these bitches have characters. And then I see another bitch interact. So there was a hint the other day. Someone referred to someone, and I know for a fact that's a LARPing character, a sock account of this person. But then everyone on the live stream went along with it. Like, yeah, we know this person. This person's not the person we're speaking to right now. And I'm like, okay. And when I'm listening to everyone, it's like I can hear all of these little histories between them, but they're not actually saying it. You can just tell there's something in the background, and they're fucking coming for each other. And I don't know what they're coming for each other. I'm just here, like, just eating my popcorn, listening to it.
Any examples of any of the people?
No, not that I can bring up straight
that's
to
fine.
mind. But there's been a few.
Oh, there would have been a bit of the Keane thing because you didn't know Brett Keane before.
No.
So it was that, people knew Brett Keane and they come in and you think it's like an innocent conversation, but people are getting really aggressive with him.
I actually
And you
feel
must be
bad.
Thinking, oh my god.
I actually feel bad for Brett. He gets savage. I'm like, oh my god, what's Brett done? He's not that bad.
He's terrible.
But apparently he was joking about getting the Discord taken down. So, yay, thank you.
I just love the when he goes into troll mode. It is pretty funny. He says, "You think you come from slugs, and then it's rocks, slugs, mice, rats." Like he just changes it all the time.
That's what he said to me. We was having a discussion. People were DMing me like, "Why is the room closed?" Because they could see me just in a one-on-one room with Brett Keane. I had lots of people message me like, "Watch out, watch out! You don't understand. Watch out!" And then it was a pretty good, boring because I can't be fucked with it. But I went along with it. It's a pretty decent conversation. And at one point he was like, "So you believe you come from fish?" And I was like, yeah, kind of, in the most fucking loose generalized sense of the word. Fish is an ancestor at some point. He was like, well, Richard Dawkins or some other atheist motherfucker that I don't care about said, oh, well, Richard Dawkins said your 10 billionth granddad is a fish. I was like,
Yeah,
so fucking what Richard Dawkins said?
yeah. He thinks that the Richard Dawkins is the Pope of atheism.
I think I've heard him say something similar, but Brett just goes too far. Like, I try to watch some of his shit to try to get a grasp of it, and straight away I'm like, I know why people are pissed off at you. He just turns around and says, "All atheists are evil." It's just, it's an iconic moment. And then I get to be both the token tranny and the token atheist. Because I'm the good atheist. Brett has endorsed me as the good atheist.
For now.
For now, yeah. He hasn't pissed me off
Yeah.
even slightly yet, so he wouldn't know.
So what to watch out for, which is fun, is that when people come into the room like JD Kane and other people, Dragon, who know Brett Keane, really well, and they know how to handle him. So what you'll notice is that Brett he'll find an excuse to get out of there. He'll leave. He'll get out as quick as he can.
Yeah, he rage quits. Like, the first time the drag came on, the first time Drag and Brett, like, interacted with each other, Brett hopped out, like, instantly. Like, I didn't even register Drag's join before he hopped out. And then, eventually, he stayed in for a little while longer dealing with Drags, and, Drags was just holding him to a fire, and he rage quit. And then he came back again. That was the day he quit like 3 times in one day. And then he came
And
back.
there's no real trick to it either. From what Drag and JD and other people do, is that, like, you'll say you come from slugs, and you go, no, I come from my parents.
Yeah, that's what I said. That's exactly what I said. He was like, so do you believe you come from... He was like, everyone has a creator. And I was like, yeah, my mom. My mom birthed me.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like, oh no, but what about the fish? What about the fish?
Yeah, I'm convinced that he's not a theist. He says theist, and then he said something in the chat today. He said God bless Jesus or something along those lines. It's like, hang on, Brett. I thought you said you were a theist, not a Christian. Like, you weren't specifically a Christian.
I love the
So
way
why
you
are
need to ask.
thanking Jesus.
I love the way it's just, I believe God. God made the Bible. Let's ignore half of what God said because fuck God.
That is hilarious.
That's what it comes out like. I never understood why. Well, because he was born and he died for the sins and all that bullshit. But it's like, what? So God just chopped and changed his mind when he killed himself?
Morning, Brenda.
Oh, hi, Brenda.
Good morning.
How are you today?
I'm just fine.
Good. Good. So what was we on? Yeah, you can just disregard half the fucking Bible and it's kosher still just because God killed himself and that's cool.
Yeah, I could never get my head around that. I actually got thrown out of Sunday school when I was younger because I argued Noah's Ark, and they couldn't argue with me, and I was like 8 years old.
Love that.
And I'm like, you serious? And then when I tried it again when I was a little bit older, probably 10, the minister said, "Hey, look," set me aside and said, "Look, it's a bunch of stories. It's a bunch of stories and some morals to live by." And I said, "What's moral about flooding and drowning everybody, even the babies? What did the animals ever do?"
And that's the thing. It's like, at least God saved 2 of every animal and killed the countless billions of the rest of them. That were all
What did they
innocent,
ever
by the
do?
way.
Yeah, what did the animals ever do?
Well, some of them were 7 by 7, right?
Was
Yeah,
it?
the unclean ones.
I honestly don't know well enough.
It was 2 by 2, and some of them were in 7s. they took 7 of each animal or something like that.
Why 7? Isn't 7 an odd number?
It's a magic number, I think, probably.
I thought that was 3.
It's magic.
3
Well, 7 is
is the
Magic
magic
square.
number. What was the ones that decided to have 7? Which animals were good enough to have 7?
I don't remember. I just remember the 7 being one of the. They would take them in sets of 2, sets of 7, and I can't remember if there were any others.
So random.
I think. I think.
Just the 7 by 7 number. That was for the animals that they could eat, like chickens
Yes.
and whatever fowl and stuff like that. So you took more of those because you would kill them so you can eat, versus the 2 by 2 of things you didn't need.
That makes sense. Well, in the concept of you taking 2 of every animal onto a boat. That makes sense. What exactly was the allegory supposed to mean, or what exactly was the point in that story? Like, it's
moral.
supposed to have a moral story, yeah, but what's the moral?
Do what God wants, or He'll drown you to death.
Okay, yeah, that's legit.
Well, it's a variation of the Epic of Gilgamesh, right?
Mm.
Because there's a flood in the Gilgamesh.
A lot of Bible stories are just retellings.
The total ripoff of the Epic of Gilgamesh. It's the same exact story.
Exactly the same.
It's like throwing the baby out with the bathwater. God's plan didn't work, so throw the whole thing out. Start again.
Wow. We should all get started building our boats then, because I don't see this shit lasting much longer.
Isn't that what what's his name? Hitchens used to say, for God to be perfect, he makes a lot of mistakes because he had to kill everybody because he made such a bad mistake.
Perfection.
We need a Christian in here to defend it.
Yeah.
My name's Christian. I can't defend it.
Where did Brenda go? You just let baby come back?
Probably connection issues or something.
Maybe.
Now, Nate, while you're there, can you please stop the clickbait titles to your Hangout?
No.
Because I'm like, oh, we've heard something about non-sec. No, we haven't. Oh, okay.
Dude, it said recap. I don't know what should I put?
Oh, it wasn't just that. There was other things. I think you posted something the other day. Oh, no, you said something the other day. Was it in chat or I can't remember. You said something like "big news is coming," and then you didn't post big news. I'm like, what the fuck? Or maybe I'm misremembering. I don't know.
He comes through with the
Oh,
big shit most
I think I
of
know
the
what you're
time.
talking about.
Nate,
So now
the
we-
link I just posted is Nate's recent video on the on the non-sex situation. I watched it last night. It was really good, by the way. It was only it
Because
was
we
mostly
all
just
are.
recapping it though, where we're all kind of aware of that anyway, aren't we?
And and the good thing that happened last night, Ruhef said he's in for the long haul. He's gonna pay whatever the cost. He's all to the end.
You play.
I'm sure
you play
lawyers like
poker?
money.
Do you play
Oh,
poker,
yeah.
Nate? Isn't it like somebody like going all in? You know, they know that the odds are bad, and they're just putting all their money against bad money.
Listen,
But that's a bad poker player. You don't go all in if your odds are
Yeah.
bad.
Oh yeah, I'm not saying he's a good poker player.
the two things. Number one, with Ruhef. Ruhef is a very intelligent guy. I just want to make it very clear. I got a lot of respect for the guy. He's intelligent. He's a good guy. No disrespect to the guy at all.
Debatable.
Well, I'm talking about my interactions. I can't talk about anybody else's interactions, but my interactions.
I haven't had any interactions. It's just, how do you do this? How do you support and spend all this money on this shit and be considered an intelligent person? I don't know, but go on.
But Ruhef's got it. Ruhef's is a multi-millionaire, so he's got it. You know what I'm saying? This is for him. It's like $10.
But Donald
us,
Trump,
it's like 10
Donald Trump was like birthed into his money. There's like, money doesn't equal like intelligence or any good way of using that money.
Definitely. But I'm if you got it, you can spend it. But my issue with this whole thing is that Ruhef, even though I understand the principle of it, that hey, my friend got messed up and I want to help my friend. But I think the actual piece of it is that even if you win, you don't win anything. Like this is a losing venture. There's no money, there's no fame. Even if you win and get the channel back, what does it actually mean? A win here for Steve is actually nothing. You know what I mean? If you're going to spend $10,000 or $20,000 again to actually go through this process again, why not just fucking cut Steve a check and call it a day? You know what I mean? Well, why pay it to lawyers to win nothing? This is actually, you can honestly, they're going to win nothing. Even if they win, they lose.
But you were just saying.
So why do you think?
That's not smart.
Yeah. So why do you think? What interactions lead you to think he's smart? Other than he's got a lot of money, let's be nice to him. And
no. I've talked to Ruhef before. I've interacted with him before. This is there's a difference between someone being dumb and versus someone standing behind their friend on principle. Ruhef is standing when Ruhef was sick. Steve stood behind him. We all kind of stood behind him, but he's appreciative of that. When this thing came down and Steve was screwed by Kyle, he wanted to help Steve get justice whatever way he could. He was a big fan of the show, so I don't think he's
nothing
being
you
stupid.
said indicates smartness. It's loyalty.
Yeah, but I don't think that exactly. I don't think him doing this is any sign of him not having intelligence. Because to be honest with you, if I had it, and I had a friend who was in the same position, I could see myself possibly doing something like this. But I think at a point, I would reflect with my friend and say, well, listen, really, we can't win anything here. You know what I'm saying? Here's $20,000, create another show. I wouldn't just give it back to the lawyers to continue the lawsuit. That just may be something that Steve may want, and he may just want to help his friend. But, I just don't know.
So why do you think Ruhef's so dedicated to it?
I think he feels like his friend was wronged, and he wants to make sure that the person who wronged his friend gets punished, and he wants to make sure that his friend gets the best possible outcome. That's what I think he's more dedicated to the cause instead of the person.
Yeah, I can see that.
I think there's certain
You're
levels of
awesome,
limit.
Auntie.
Oh, thank you. Oh, bitch.
Might be something magnetic if you're near other speakers with a headset on or something.
Maybe.
It's all right now. Though.
I think there's a certain level to loyalty that does deem you being stupid, though. No? Like, if you choose to be loyal to someone through everything, and that person's doing unbelievably stupid behaviors, and you're loyally supporting that, does that not make you stupid by extension?
I don't know.
The same things of wives of like serial killers and like dictators and things like that, right?
Yeah, they're blindly loyal, but that's not smart or that's not good.
But let's separate. Let's kind of separate the issues here, though. One issue is he's loyal and he wants to see a good outcome for the non sequitur case. But Ruhef is not, saying Earl David Warner. You know what I'm saying? That doesn't mean he accepts. He tell you I don't accept any of the other crap, and I don't care about any of the other crap. Steve is ridiculous with that stuff. But in this particular situation, for this thing that happened, he has been wrong. That I want to help him with this particular thing. All this other stuff, is nonsense to him.
But surely he's just an internet acquaintance. Like I think they met up in real life, but surely it's pretty close to just being a pure internet relationship. Like
almost like just a financer.
He didn't give him a to lose this. I mean, it just seems weird.
maybe you know what? I think we're saying it's weird because from our position, $10,000 or $20,000 is like, damn, it's weird that you'd put that in. But you know, if you
No, if
have
you've got it, you got it. That's not. I don't think that's weird. People spend fucking hundreds of thousands of dollars on literal garbage. It's like I'm not.
He's like he's super chatted a legal aid to the guy. He's like super chatted it.
It's like I don't really. I don't really see the problem in spending your money on whatever you want to spend it on, but do you view that as wise to spend your money on that? Would you want to spend your money on supporting someone going through and behaving like this? Like at a certain point, you can behave in such a way that makes you wrong, even if you were initially right.
Then I'll tell you this. I remember I was working with another attorney, and he had a client, and I was second chairing him on this case. And at one point we went to the client and we said, hey, you know, even if we win, we lose, the person has no money, the person has this, you know, it's going to cost you another 50 grand, but you know, we don't think it's worth it. You know what I'm saying? It might as well just drop the case and walk off. You know what she said? Hey, listen, I'm going to cut you a check. Let's continue. That, you know, it's what more can you say? This is a woman who's got all this money. She's got all this fame. She does what she wants to do. But we told her the case is really unwinnable. And she said, well, hey, you know, fuck it. Pay. You know, let's do it. And I think that's kind of what you get. You get people like that. And I think Ruhef, it's just, you know, it's not a lot of money to him. He feels like it's a good cause. He feels like his friend was harmed. He doesn't like Kyle. So, hey, you know, here's another 10 grand. Let's do it. Let's do it right this time. If the judge throws it out.
That's why I think he's stupid.
You know, having said that, though, I hope that he keeps funding it for years to come. When it's thrown out, and then it goes back
Same. Don't stop.
I hope he paid for season 2, because that's what I'm saying. If this thing gets thrown out, we got season 2.
We need to start pitching this to Netflix, Nate.
But think about how great this is. Like we honestly have this crazy ass lawsuit from 2. And if you think about
actually,
it, like
might set precedents as well. That's the thing. It actually might set like how we address these cases in the future.
Because you know, let's honestly think about this. We got one bum, because Steve is really a bum. He's a bum that lives in a room that, you know, makes $400 a month. And who would have thought that guy would go across the country and sue another bum? You know, another former prisoner.
A bum, you know, with a better haircut.
Yeah, with a better haircut.
Yeah, over a YouTube channel. This is like, you know, for $100,000. It's, you know, it's you couldn't make this shit up. If I wrote the story out and tried to sell it in Hollywood, they would say it's too unbelievable. This would never happen. You know,
it is. And it's just crazy because it's like spiraled at every opportunity. Like it's not at any point wind down. It's like there's been peaks and highs and lows in people talking about it. But at every opportunity there is a way to spin this for it to either escalate or de-escalate. That shit just pops off. Like it just gets more and more ludicrous with every step each one takes.
So Nate, can I ask you a question, your opinion? In hindsight, when all this is done and dusted and nobody gets shit, what would you have recommended if you could go back to go back in time to an earlier Kyle and Steve? If you could sit them together, what would you advise them to do?
Well, at the beginning, when the things start breaking off, I would have said, number one, it all depends on how far back to go, because I would have gone back to the time before Steve turned over all the control of the accounts to Kyle, because at one point Steve had access to everything, maybe a month before the breakup. So at that point, I would have told Steve he should just reconcile the accounts now. Hey, listen, can you give me this? Can you give me this? And then that would have precipitated how much money was in the account and all that stuff. And then if we're talking about after that, where now he's been kicked off the show, I would have said the simplest thing is settle. Yeah. Because I'm thinking at one point, Steve was saying that there was $90,000. The show made $90,000. The show made, $100,000. So if that's the case and you believe Steve, then suing for $10,000 makes sense because you're at least trying to sue for half that, and you could probably get the other half, the other 10 grand from this guy who's not going to show up. But now that you know the truth, now it makes a little bit more. Now it makes the lawsuit less legitimate. So my advice to them at that time would have been to settle. Kyle, give up whatever you got. Maybe even give up the channel to Steve and start something new, because that's what he had planned to do anyway. And then see what Steve takes the show. And Steve wouldn't have took the show anyway, because none of the guests who wanted to go on the show wanted to go back because Steve was there. He would have seen that it was trashed, and the show would have been what it is now. The Non Sequitur show is dead. We all know it. It's garbage. It's toxic. No one's going to go on that show. And that's what Steve is going to probably pay another $10,000 if he loses this motion to get a toxic, dead channel.
So someone said, Banther Tracks in the chat said, anyone notice how much content Steve is putting out at the moment? I think he's concerned Non-Sec isn't going to be his cash cow. And I think, we can pass this on to everyone else. I think, in my opinion, it's a mix between, the Non-Sec shit might fall through. He needs to start boosting the algorithm back up again. And the second part is he actually has competition now. And I think he's doing it, he was so fucking butthurt about the fishing stream. And so he's moved his shit onto the Steve McRae, but he's still naming it the Great Debate. And for people that understand how YouTube works and shit, he's just essentially trying to compete with the algorithm. And so it's a mix of both. I agree. I do think it's partially he thinks the Non-Sec is probably going to fall through. And I think the other part of it is realizing, well, if the Non-Sec falls through and the competition steals his base, then where does he go from there? He needs to start trying to maintain a presence on the Great Debate community bullshit.
Hey, Nate, just from going by the chat, are you going to do a Teespring with your lamp? Because your lamp is getting more popular than you are.
The lamp is an icon.
The lamp is a massive
Yes.
icon. Yes, just yes.
I saw the lamp joke. The lamp was busting some jokes last video.
Oh, you like the process server? The lamp now process server?
Yeah. I don't know why Nate's lamp blew up, and I don't know why my eyelashes blew up, but I just love the internet.
Good morning, guys.
Good morning.
Yeah, your eyelashes. Good morning. Your eyelashes are about as popular as Nate's lamp.
I don't know what it is. Whenever people talk about me or my content, it's just eyelashes. I love it.
I found out the lamp's got a Twitter account. It's got a YouTube account. I was like, what the fuck is happening with them?
It's everything.
When you guys are talking about Steve, you're missing the big thing that's going to happen either way, right? Steve's got to win because he's going to make YouTube infamy, right? He's going to set precedents for all other YouTube cases now. And then if Steve wins, then that's going to validate that he's a good guy and he tells the truth.
So then the inverse is true,
Honor and integrity.
So if he loses it, then the exact opposite's this truth. Then he's a bad person. He shouldn't be trusted.
The thing is that Steve can't win, though. Like, think about it. What can he possibly win in this case?
The court being a human and thinking Kyle is a dick, I guess, is the best I can see.
And if you want to use Steve's logic, when you got the convicted rapist, David Earl Warden, who was convicted by a unanimous jury, he said he didn't believe that was correct. Now we have to believe that his default judgment where the other person didn't show up is correct. You know what I mean? There's no consistency here.
No. But there doesn't need to be consistency. There only needs to be narrative.
But no, I mean, that lawsuit, if Kyle gets sued for, say, 60 grand, that's pending for the rest of his life, right? There's no limitation on it.
No. It all depends on for what. And from what I'm looking at, the biggest issue is that the fraud, and especially with fraud and stuff, usually you can't discharge those things in bankruptcy. because then you've done something wrong. But if the case is kind of thrown out and restarted, and Kyle can get the fraud and stuff dismissed, then those other charges, if he has to pay something, it's you can easily get him dismissed through bank. You just file bankruptcy and everything else would be dismissed. So he would actually get nothing again.
Yay!
So does anyone find it really ironic? Okay, I don't know if I'm coming through. Am I coming
Yeah,
through?
you're coming
'Cause I'm
through
on my
clear.
earpiece. Okay, I'm driving to work, but I'm on my earpiece, so don't worry. But when I look at justice, like actual justice, like what would be fair, there's like different kinds of justice. There's retribution, which is what I think they're after. There's restorative, there's all sorts of stuff, right? Like there's nothing restorative in this case. This is an all or nothing kind of thing that he's going for. Like he's like, you screwed me, you did something wrong. I was a 50-50 partner that didn't ever do any fucking work, or barely any. Not in comparison. Not in comparison. The amount of work that Kyle did on that show was probably 95%. I'm sorry, but the amount of work that he has poured into that show, and the blood and sweat, that was Kyle.
Well,
There was a little bit of work for like maybe some shilling with Steve here and there, and maybe Steve had the starter base like in the very beginning, which he ended up losing anyway because it's Steve. But work, the artwork, the producing, like Bull, that's the other thing. Bull supposedly producer, but producing was done by, again, Kyle. Bull